Okay, here we go with Chapter 1. This is the lecture for Chapter 1. As you know, there are lectures for each chapter, and those are relatively straightforward, maybe a little bit dull. And in addition to those lectures, however, I've taken all the fun stories from those chapters and put them on what I call fun videos. So the fun videos from Chapter 1 should be right next to this lecture for Chapter 1 online. I've got my notes here in my lap. I'm ready to go here. And let's talk about law. Law needs to be certain and predictable. There needs to be a certainty and a predictability with law. So if you live, for example, in Missoula, Montana, and you want to know if it's legal or illegal to shoot off fireworks in the city of Missoula, you can go to the ordinances of the city of Missoula and search them, and you can be certain, and it can be predictable. Yes, you can or you cannot set off fireworks. If you are in Gary, Indiana, and you want to spray paint a bridge over a county road, you can go to the ordinances of the County Council of Lake County, Indiana, and you can figure out, yes, it is illegal or it's not illegal to deface public property. So that's an important element of law. It should be certain and predictable. Now, every nation has its own culture, of course, and that culture is going to have a high effect on the type of laws that it passes. Let me just give you one example from the United States. For whatever reason, and there are many, many, many historical reasons, of all the 193 countries on earth, the United States people value individual freedom perhaps more so than any of them, and that affects the laws of the United States. People in the United States don't like conspiracies and smoke filled rooms and things done behind their back, so it's not surprising that the United States was the first country to pass antitrust laws, and among antitrust laws are laws which prevent companies from conspiring to fix prices, from setting deals behind the consumer's back, and things like that. Every country you can go to and you can find how its culture has affected its laws. Now, one of the points that we make in Chapter 1 is that if you're a business person, you'd better know something about law because, as the chart in your textbook indicates, one business action can affect numerous types of laws. There is a great fun video on Chapter 1 called The Loud Car Case, and that's an actual case out of the law books, and I think you'll enjoy seeing how that one set of facts affected so much of that company's interface with the law. Next thing you want to know are the sources of law in the United States, and the textbook has a list of them, starting with the U.S. Constitution and going down from there. There's no question that on anybody's list of law, the United States Constitution is first. It is the law of the land. Every other law or ordinance, whether it be state, federal, local, has to be in compliance with the United States Constitution. The ranking of the other sources of law can be subject to debate, but let's just say we have the U.S. Constitution. Underneath that, we have United States laws, which are, of course, passed in Congress in Washington, D.C. And right now, today, they could be passing laws about television or radio regulations. They could be passing laws about strip mining. They could be passing laws about aviation. All those federal elements that they can be passing laws about. Let's just put underneath that as number 3, the state constitutions. Each of the 50 states has a constitution, and under that would be state statutes. Each of the 50 states has a legislature that, when they're in session, they pass statutes and laws every day. Of course, there are There are local ordinances being passed. Louisville, Kentucky, perhaps today, the city council is passing ordinances that involve that. In addition to that, there are regulations. Both the state and the federal government have regulatory agencies like the Environmental Protection Agency that every day are passing regulations, in other words, laws that you have to comply with. And of course, there are courtrooms open all around the country every day where there are many, many, many court decisions that are vital to law that are being passed, and those decisions written down, and those decisions put into law textbooks or into databases that we can retrieve. Now, one of the points we want to make in this chapter is that there is a difference between civil law and criminal law. There's a very big difference. There's a great video online about the difference between civil and criminal law. You want to watch that. Basically, civil law cases are cases involving money disputes. You did this to me and you owe me this money. Criminal law cases involve situations where you have done something so egregious against the rules of society that society either wants to fine you or put you in prison, put you in the slammer. Big difference between civil law and criminal law. Check out that video. Usually right at the end of chapter 1, I'll mention how you can find laws. When I first started to teach 11 years ago, I had various websites that you could go to find laws, and but since 11 years ago, it's just so much easier to find laws just by Googling them. If you want to find the divorce laws in New Hampshire, just Google divorce laws in New Hampshire. You'll get a much quicker, much more accurate conclusion as to how to get to those laws than you would by going through a site like findlaw.com. When I first started to teach this course, I wanted to show the students, the first class, what law books looked like. And one of the fun videos that you will enjoy watching is what happened when I went to look for law books on my campus. That's called the Incapacitated Librarians Fun video. Finally, on laws and how laws are made, you might as a kid remember watching Schoolhouse Rock on this subject, and that Schoolhouse Rock video is again on the website if you want to check it out. That's it for chapter 1. Great. Bye.